Hello. Alright. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything works. Okay. It's the day of the wedding and I'm already up earlier than I planned to. Why? It seems that it's that time of the month again and I've been cramping all morning. Damn, this is Tailor Tales, a period story. Nothing a little medicine can't cure. And make sure to pack some extra pills in my purse since I'm definitely going to be needing them at the wedding. I find that soluble works faster, and also the taste is horrible with just water, but if you put it in like a little bit of juice, it just tastes like a fizzy juice. So it works faster for me anyway than pills do. I think that might be universal truth as well because it's already dissolved. I don't know. I could be wrong. So yeah, I'm not a doctor. With how hectic everything is going to be today, I don't have much time to focus and think about other things. I haven't even seen Dimitri much less talk to him. He's been busy as well. Ah yes, we figured out we have feelings for him, right? It's time to deliver the wedding dress to Mandy. She's waiting for me at the estate. When I arrive, it's exactly how Sarah described it to me, like a big fairy tale castle. The building is very historical, decorated with fancy furniture, and the walls look like they've been whittled down by their old age. There are flowers and balloons everywhere. It's all very romantic. It's quite empty since guests aren't coming until later, but Mandy is there to greet me along with what seems to be her family.
Ooh.
It's here, she squeals in delight. I drag the clothing bag with me, having been very careful with the dress the entire time. It's pressed and ironed, clean and pristine. Mandy will shine in this, no doubt. I'm riddled with nerves. At least that's one thing I can check off my list of things that can go wrong, she says, sounding a bit exasperated. You sound like you didn't get much sleep last night, I know. On the contrary, I knocked myself out with some sleeping pills, otherwise I'd be awake throughout the night. Slept like a baby, she chuckles. Mandy takes the dress off my hands and gives it to one of the other women in the room, who runs off to some other area. Mandy clasps her hands together. Alright, that means I'll see you at 5. Yep, I need to go get ready as well, I say with a smile. Suddenly, Sarah joins the scene, her camera flash temporarily blinding me. Valkii, she greets me. Sarah is already here to take pictures of the wedding, including how the bride will get dressed up. Sarah, hey, good choice, those sneakers. I point at her shoes. She's wearing the exact same clothes she always does, come on. Sarah gives me a wink and laughs. I'm prepared. Alright, come along, Sarah. I've got my wedding dress now, and we can take pictures as I get ready. Mandy beckons to Sarah. See you later, Valkii. I've got a job to do. I give her a thumbs up and both Mandy and Sarah disappear. Now I've got some time to kill before it's 5 PM, though I should probably get ready myself. I return home. Hours later, I return to the premises. There are a bunch more people now. I've got my makeup on, hair in a fancy bun, sneezing, and wearing my own dress, of course. I didn't forget to pack the extra medicine either. I'm all set. Some nice classical music is playing in the background. Everyone around me is chattering among themselves, all dressed in formal wear. I haven't spotted Mandy or Sarah yet. Nor have I seen Dimitri, though he's probably somewhere near the kitchen or food area. He won't be coming to the ceremony anyway, which is about to start. This will be the first time I'm meeting Mandy's fiancé as well. Who's a rich guy, right? Eventually I sit down in one of the chairs, waiting for the ceremony to start at 5 PM. The room gets more and more crowded. There's about 100 or so people. I didn't realize there were going to be this many people, but then again, Mandy was flaunting around some money. With lots of money come big crowds, I guess. The crowds suddenly quiet down. The music suddenly starts. Mandy's fiancé is already standing at the altar. People who are standing around quickly sit. I see Sarah in the back snapping pictures without flash, so she goes by undetected. She's doing some good work. I clench my purse in anticipation, waiting for the bride to appear. Then Mandy finally enters the room and everyone turns around to look at her. She's positively beaming, her cheeks rosy and her lips pulled into a large smile. A white veil trails behind her as she walks down the aisle with a bouquet in one hand and the other slipped around her mother's arm. Or at least I presume that's her mother. They look very similar. Her dress looks amazing like this. I know it's Mandy's wedding and all, but damn, I'm so proud of myself. The light went off in surprise as well. You look so beautiful. Tears almost well up in my eyes, knowing all those hours I poured into that dress, and now tons of people are looking at it. Mandy walks up to the altar and stands next to her fiancé, who smiles warmly at her. He reaches out with shaky hands to grab Mandy's, who smiles back at him. I can tell they have a pretty deep bond together. They're very much in love. Sarah is rapidly firing shots one after the other, sneaking around like a ninja, making sure not to disturb anyone. The minister standing in front of the couple starts to speak into a microphone. "Family and friends of the bride and groom, welcome everyone," he announces. "Today we have gathered here to witness something special, and that is to see Mandy Hops and Yordi Spring unite in marriage. Marriage is the promise between two people who love each other, who trust in that love, who honor each other as individuals, who choose to spend the rest of their lives together. I know I've heard this kind of speech 1,000 times in movies, but it's the first time I've actually attended a wedding this grand. Hearing those words makes everything sound so official and special. No matter what challenges you face, you must now face them together. The love between you joins you now as one. Now let's hear a few words from the bride and groom." The minister finally gives a word to the groom, Yordi. He looks nervous as he takes out a small piece of paper, his fingers shaking. "Mandy, from the moment we met, I knew you were something special, and, he takes a break to breathe. But I knew you didn't see me like that. You didn't see me that way. Not yet, anyway." Mandy chuckles, as does the rest of the room. "For many years I waited. I stood by your side, supported you when you needed it. I always have been, and always will be, in love with you. I hope we will share a long life together." He tucks the little note back into his pocket and gives Mandy a shy smile. Then Mandy takes over. "Yordi, when I met you, you were this tall." Mandy bends down and hovers her hand near her knees. The crowd laughs. "Is this sounding familiar?" "When you became this tall," Mandy hovers her hand above her head, the same height Yordi is. "I suddenly realized what's been in front of me this whole time. You've always been there for me. You're such an amazing and selfless person. I can't imagine anyone better whom I'd want to spend the rest of my life with." That means Mandy and her fiancé were childhood friends, right? That's rather cute. He's loved her since the beginning. The minister turns to Yordi. "Do you, Yordi, take Mandy to be your wedded wife, to cherish in love and in friendship, in strength and in weakness, to love her faithfully today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two of you shall live?" "I do," says Yordi with a shaky voice. He then takes the ring from the minister and grabs Mandy's hand. "I give you this ring as a symbol of my love." He slips the ring onto Mandy's finger. "Do you, Mandy, take Yordi to be your wedded husband, to cherish in love and in friendship, in strength and in weakness, to love him faithfully, today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two of you shall live?" Mandy grins at him. "I do." The minister gives Mandy the ring, which in turn makes her grab Yordi's hand. "I give you this ring as a symbol of my love." She slips it onto Yordi's finger. "Mandy and Vordi, you have expressed your love to one another through the commitment and promises you have just made. It is my pleasure to now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss one another," the minister declares. Sarah expertly navigates to the front of the couple and lifts up her camera. Mandy and Yordi both lean in, with Yordi wrapping an arm around Mandy's waist, dipping her low before planting a kiss on her lips. The crowd stands up, cheering and clapping at their union of love. I stand with them, clapping as well. The couple write down their signatures on a piece of paper along with the bridesmaid and best man. Then the newly married couple exit the room with cheering following behind them. Everyone leaves the room to follow them. I stand up as well. We're led outside the building into a wonderful large garden. There are seats and tables everywhere. A large party tent is in the middle where there are people serving drinks and snacks. It looks like a royal wedding. It's also very impressive and beautiful. "Hurry up, ladies, the bouquet is about to be thrown," Mandy claims with a smile. A gaggle of women follow Mandy into the open as she teases them with flowers. In the back, I see a buffet-style table, which is when I notice someone familiar. Oh, it's Dimitri. I raise my hand in the air and wave at him from afar, getting his attention. I can't see it very well from this distance, but he seems to be wearing a uniform of some sorts. When Dimitri spots me waving, he breaks out into a smile and happily waves back. I grip my purse tightly against my chest as it wells up with a warm glow. Oh no, the feelings are back again. I managed to forget about them for the entire day, but as soon as I see Dimitri, they're back. I'm a bit too distracted to pay attention. My eyes keep flickering back over to where Dimitri is. Not only do I see a mountain of chocolates presented at his table, I see all sorts of other foods. I kind of want to try them out. "Catch!" Mandy yells. All of the women stretch out their arms to catch the falling bouquet, but it just hits my unsuspecting face instead. I stagger backwards, startled that I got hit in the face by a bunch of flowers. Some of the pollen goes straight up my nose and I sneeze out loud. Everyone is turned around, looking at me and the bouquet lying down at my feet. I feel like a clown all of a sudden, like this was some sort of comedic act. That's so embarrassing. I wasn't paying attention at all. Mandy runs over to me, picking up the bouquet and thrusting it into my arms. Some of the other ladies groan out loud in disappointment that they didn't catch it. "Valkii, you caught it." "You mean my face did," I say and wrinkle my nose. "Ha ha ha, aren't you funny?" Congrats on getting married. I didn't know you were marrying your childhood friend, I say, remembering their vows. Mandy places her hands on her hips and gives me a grin. You are now looking at Mrs. Spring. He and I go way back. We must have been in diapers or something. That's amazing, though, to have known each other for so long and falling in love. Mandy shrugs. For the longest time, I didn't see him that way, though. I've had plenty of other relationships. She stops to look at her husband, who's making the rounds to talk to the guests at the wedding. There's this dreamy expression on her face. But he's the real deal. We were both single and the chemistry was just there, you know? I couldn't deny it. Suddenly he was all grown up and turned into this sexy man. I don't want to think about how this describes my situation with Dimitri a little too perfectly. I grip my teeth and smile at Mandy. Anyways, I need to go greet everyone. See you around. Mandy quickly leaves the scene. When I'm left alone, I quickly put the flowers down at a nearby table. I'm not going to be carrying this around all day. I don't much care for this tradition anyway. Time to greet Dimitri personally. After all, I need to see him in his uniform. I make my way over across the garden towards the buffet area. Some people are already there getting drinks and snacks. I walk beside the tables and smile when I reach Dimitri. Valkii, hey, he says, looking relieved to see a familiar face. He's wearing a nice white jacket with buttons and a brown apron adorns his waist. Dimitri looks really professional like this. It suits him. I feel a little awkward checking him out, though. Hey, how's it going? Got all of the chocolates here in one piece? Dimitri gestures at the chocolate in front of him. All here. I'm in charge of pouring people's drinks as well. Oh, good. Can you give me a glass of red wine? I ask. I sort of want to drink alcohol, so I stop feeling so nervous around Dimitri. Dimitri quickly pours wine into a glass and hands it over to me. Our fingers briefly touch, sending a zing through my hand and down my entire body. I quickly pull away from him, trying to calm myself down. Dimitri looks at me weirdly and awkwardly keeps his hands in front of his apron. You want to try these out? Do you want to try these out? Dimitri asks and points down at the chocolate. I shake my head. I'll wait until after I eat dinner before I stuff myself with dessert. Dimitri chuckles. Fair point. Then he leans forward across the table, catching me off guard as he reaches out for my face. His fingers come closer and closer as if he's aiming for my lips. I stand frozen, not knowing what he's trying to do. Then he reaches for the top of my head and pulls back. In his hand is a flower petal. You had this in your hair, he says with a smile. I flush red and look away from him. Stupid flower bouquet hitting me in the face. I wanted to look nice for Dimitri, not ridiculous with flower petals in my hair. Yo, that's a pretty image. Why are you mad? Wait, I wanted to look nice for Dimitri. You've already admitted you have feelings for him. Like, this is a no-brainer. I can't with a good conscience deny that I did want to look pretty for him. It's sort of like I was waiting for him to tell me I look nice, even though he hasn't said anything. Yeah, I managed to catch the bouquet, I explain. From where I was standing, it looked more like it hit you in the face instead, Dimitri says, a playful smirk on his lips. I blush even more. He was watching. You saw that, I squeak. Maybe, Dimitri laughs, rubbing the back of his head. Great, now I'm even more embarrassed. I quickly take a sip from my glass of wine so I don't have to look at Dimitri. I'm going to, leave you because I'm embarrassed. Fine, Sarah. That's a better excuse. Dimitri gives me a tiny wave with his hand. Alright, see you later. Try not to catch any more flowers with your face. My eyes widen and I glare at him. With a huff, I speed walk away from the buffet table. Honestly, since I'm not familiar with anyone at the wedding except for a few people, I mostly just drink wine by myself. I sit down on one of the benches, watching other people having fun. A couple of people are dancing in the middle of the garden. Sometimes I see Sarah walking around, slinking in and out between the crowd, capturing all of these memories. It's nice to see her working so seriously. She's completely focused on her photography. A couple of glasses of wine later, I can tell the sun is starting to set. I can also tell I'm a little buzzed, but only slightly. I'm feeling less awkward about that whole face meet bouquet thing. Every once in a while, I look over to where Dimitri is, still serving people drinks and giving them chocolate. I've already had some dinner from the buffet, so I should probably take Dimitri up on his offer to taste some of his chocolate. But I feel like I still need to gather some more courage in the form of this delicious red liquid. Otherwise, it's a little nerve-wracking being around Dimitri. Suddenly, cheers erupt from the dance floor and the music changes to a slower, more melancholy track. The bride and groom enter the dance floor and people stand around them in a circle. I see the both of them performing a very slow waltz in tune with the music. It's very romantic. They must have practiced this for a while before the wedding. Then someone taps on the groom's back, an older man asking to dance with Mandy. I believe this must be Jordi's father, since they bear a striking resemblance to one another. Jordi gets swept up by Mandy's mother, and now there's 4 of them dancing, swaying to the music. Mandy beckons other people to join with her hand, and then all of a sudden people swarm the dance floor. Sarah is having a field day, shooting as many pictures as possible. I feel like dancing as well. My eyes can't help but look over to where Dimitri is, still stuck at the buffet stand. Well, I've already finished 3 glasses of wine. I should be able to ask him to dance with me. I put my purse and glass of wine onto a table. Determined, I make my way over to the buffet, standing in front of Dimitri. Valkii, look, everyone loved my chocolates so much that there's none left. Oh, did we get any? I mean, I guess we got some before, but like when he was making them, but damn. Dimitri is beaming down at me with a smile, gesturing at the empty buffet table. Oh, huh, I didn't even realize they were that popular. Good job, though. Oh no, that means I didn't get to try anything. I feel bad now. Dimitri, I start. He innocently cocks his head to the side. Would you like to dance with me? The same time I say those words, the music picks up and drowns out my voice. Dimitri doesn't seem to have heard me, turning the side of his head towards me, leaning down a little. Could you repeat that? He says in a loud voice. Not wanting to repeat what I said, I instead walk around the table, making Dimitri stand in front of me in confusion. Then I reach out for his hand and grab it, tugging him along with me. Dimitri looks startled and hobbles after me. You're dancing with me, I shout at him as I pull him away from the buffet. I try not to pay attention to the way my heart skips a beat from holding his warm hand. Dimitri and I walk onto the dance floor. There's a lot of people moving about to the song. It's quite crowded. There's not much space left to freely move around. The music is blaring through the speakers. I don't let go of Dimitri's hand, and neither does he. When I've managed to get us almost at the center, I stop to turn around and face Dimitri. Shyly, he averts his eyes. I lean closer to him. The music is so loud in my ears, I can't hear what he's saying. What? I ask. Dimitri raises both of our hands and pulls me into him. Suddenly, I'm squished up against his chest, having no way to look but up at his face. I didn't expect to get this close to him, but the alcohol inside of me lets me enjoy it. I don't know how to dance, so he admits timidly. I look into those blue eyes and I find myself lost in them. The rhythm of the music playing in my ears, the red wine making me feel more courageous, Dimitri's closeness, it's all making my head spin. I slip my arms around his neck, giving him a sly smile. I'm allowed to enjoy this for now. Does it matter? I say. Dimitri sighs in defeat, blinking his eyes down at me. I guess it doesn't. I sway to the right, then to the left. Come on, put your arms around me, I encourage him. Dimitri looks to the side, being very shy about it as he wraps his arms around my lower back. It's not the first time he's held me like this. Back during the photo shoot we were this close as well. But right now it sends my heart fluttering. I want to feel him even more, so I press myself up against him. Dimitri yelps, looking down at me, frightened that we're smushed together. My breasts are pushed up against his jacket and his groin is pressed against my waist. The last time we were touching like this, Dimitri had a little accident and had to run away. This time I'm holding on to him though. He can't run away from me. Just follow my lead, I say. I give him a devilish grin and start to sway my body, leading him with my movements so he follows. Dimitri's rigid body slowly starts getting into motion, awkwardly following my lead. He's looking down at me, an indiscernible expression on his face. He's biting his lips. Does he feel nervous? Is he thinking about the last time we were this close together as well? Force him to start using his feet as we dance to the rhythm of the beat. Dimitri's movements are inexperienced, but it's rather cute to see him off his game here. In fact, I can feel that his hands are shaking. I can't help but feel delighted that he's nervous. I love seeing this side of him. Spin me, I shout at him, then push myself away from his chest. Our hands glide across each other and he holds it up in the air as I twirl around, moving away from me? He spins me right back into his body, holding me secure. I wrap my arms around his neck again. I giggle. That was fun. Dimitri can't help but smile as well, his expression so gentle and warm. His body loosens up a bit as he relaxes against me. He then removes one hand from my waist and slides it across my arm, grabbing my hand. He holds it in the air and then pulls us along for a spin. He's leading me this time, finally overcoming his awkwardness. Dimitri is looking at me, his eyes locked onto mine, determined to keep eye contact with me. It feels exhilarating to maintain his gaze, like I'm the only thing that matters in the world, as if we're the only two people dancing right now. I feel like my heart is dancing along with the music. I'm all pumped up with endorphins. Mandy said she knew her husband for the longest time, and then one day she looked at him as a man. I can feel it, every place our bodies are touching, even through the thickness of his coat, I can feel him. Dimitri is taller than me, stronger than me, his hands more callous than mine, every part of him that's grown since I've known him. Then there's the parts that are still very much the same, those kind blue eyes, the dimple on his cheek as he smiles down at me, the slight hesitation right before he dips me down. He's grinning, I'm grinning, his strong arms supporting me in place. Then he pulls me back into his chest, safe and secure. Dimitri bends down, his brown hair sliding across my forehead until his lips brush over the tip of my ear. I freeze up, a rush of adrenaline shooting through my body. It's leaving me tingling all over. I've always wanted to do that, he whispers into my ear. His voice, it's so close, so sensual, it's making my knees bend. I'm being swept off my feet here, figuratively. By the way, Valkii, he continues to whisper, you look really pretty. My face flushes at the compliment and my heart pounds in excitement. I've been dying to hear those words all night, I can't deny it. When I was putting on my makeup and styling my hair, I looked into the mirror and thought, would Dimitri like this? And he does! This makes me so happy. Then he's back at a normal distance, no longer whispering sweet words into my ear. He's grinning at me with pink cheeks. It's adorable. Don't tell Mandy, but I think you're the prettiest one here. Dimitri shyly scratches his nose. My heart melts into a puddle. Hey, you two. I turn my head to see Sarah in the back, her camera pointed at us. She shakes her head in disappointment. Get a room, she yells. Blood rushes to my face, spreading across my cheeks in nanoseconds. I press my face into Dimitri's chest, hiding my embarrassment from everyone. Dimitri chuckles nervously, rubbing my back with his hand. It feels nice like this, being held by him, even though it's embarrassing that Sarah saw me like this. I finally push away from him, hoping my cheeks aren't cherry red. Dimitri looks down at me, a blush on his face as well. Seems I'm not the only one who's embarrassed. Oh no, here we go again. A sharp pang soars through my body and I collapse against Dimitri. He catches me as a reflex, then worry flickers into his eyes. Valkii? Oh no, the cramps are coming back. The medicine has worn off. It doesn't work like that. At least, okay, not in my experience. Maybe it does for some people, but you don't just suddenly, like, it comes back gradually. You're like, oh, it's like a little worse again. Oh, it's worse again. Oh, but you usually take something before that happens. I just don't think... Okay, this is just my experience. I'm getting, like, frustrated and, like, annoyed because it doesn't line up with my experience, but, like, this could be someone else's experience. But in my experience, pain doesn't come back all of a sudden. Like, the painkillers wear off gradually. Right? I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong. I don't know. I try to steady myself, controlling my breathing. It's nothing. I mumble against his chest. Just cramps. Ah, he acknowledges. Have you got some... In my purse. I once more push away from Dimitri, breaking apart from him all the way. I'll get it. I navigate the crowd around me, getting off the dance floor and back to the table where I left my purse, except when I reach it, nothing is there, just a half-empty glass of red wine. I cock my head to the side. I'm pretty sure this is where I left my purse. I look around with my eyes, but I don't see anything. My purse isn't there. Anxiety brews in my stomach as my cramps get more painful. Great. I just wanna see how much more we have to go with this. Oh, quite a bit. We got, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more to go there. And then the passionate 26, passionate 27, and then the epilogue, which you probably won't see. My purse. Where did it go? I left it on the table right here, but I don't see it anymore. My eyes nervously scan the immediate vicinity for the missing object. There's not a trace to be found. I look around on the floor. Nothing there either. My cramps are slowly acting up, so I really need to take some medicine right now. Slowly acting up? What do you mean? They came back like a bomb was going off inside your ute. Alright. Excuse me, have you seen a white purse? I ask one of the guests standing near the table. No, sorry, I haven't seen it. I want to curse out loud. I look over at Dimitri, who's walking towards me, my eyes glazed over in worry. I can't find my purse, Dimitri. Dimitri starts looking around as well. I clench my mouth shut and wrap an arm around my waist. The cramps are starting to get violent. I need some medicine before I collapse in the middle of the wedding. Not to mention I'm missing my entire purse with my wallet and phone in it. Did someone take it? Another contraction leaves me breathless, standing completely still and hunched over at the table. Hands reach out for me and suddenly Dimitri's arms are hooked around my body, keeping me upright. He leans into me, whispering into my ear. Come on, let's get you somewhere you can rest. Did you find my purse? I croak in an unsteady voice. Dimitri shakes his head. No, we can look for it later. Not being in a mindset to argue, I surrender myself to Dimitri, who leads me out of the garden and back into the building. Once we're out of the crowd, I cling onto Dimitri's arm, squeezing my eyes shut. The pain is really something awful. My fingers dig into his flesh and I grind my teeth. Dimitri bends down, then swoops me up into his arms, carrying me like a princess against his chest. I don't have time to react at all, as the pain immobilizes me. I let myself get carried until Dimitri brings us to a room forbidden for guests. It's an antique living room with a view of the garden beneath it. There's no one here, in part because it's off limits to guests. Dimitri settles me down onto one of the chaise lounge. Ziz. Stay here. I'll be back as soon as possible with some medicine. Dimitri doesn't waste a second and disappears again. My mind is running and I can't think much of anything, besides getting myself through this hell. A few minutes later I hear footsteps approaching the room and Dimitri returns. He's carrying a glass of water. Here, I managed to find some paracetamol. It's dissolved in the water. Good man. Good man. You found some soluble. Good man. So please, drink it. It'll work faster, I swear. I swear it works faster. Eagerly, I take it off his hands and gulp it down. When finished, he takes the glass and sets it aside. Dimitri stands in front of me, fretting over my health. He eventually speaks up. I tried looking for your purse one more time, but I couldn't find anything. I'm sorry. Don't apologize, I say as I lean back into the chaise. Maybe someone mistook it as theirs. I don't know. Is it Shay Lounge? Oh, whatever. Maybe. When you're feeling better, we can look for it. Dimitri sits down next to me. I close my eyes, trying to ignore the cramps that are still wrecking my insides. The medicine always takes some time before it starts working. Well, yeah, but soluble works faster than your pills do, so... I'm sorry you have to drink nasty tasting water, but he didn't get you a juice. We both sit there silently for a few minutes. It's quiet around us, though I can hear Dimitri's steady breathing. It's nice knowing he's here with me, that I can always count on him. When I feel something touch my face, my eyes fly open. Dimitri has moved closer and is sitting next to me, his fingers brushing the hair out of my face and behind my ear. Ah, one of my curls must have gotten loose from my bun. He did the exact same thing last time as well, brushing my hair away like this. It's comforting, it's familiar. I can manage to forget about my pain a little when I'm feeling butterflies instead. My eyes are feeling droopy. He draws in closer to me. Dimitri seems more daring as he cups my cheeks, letting his thumb brush over my skin. The tips of his fingers graze my earlobe, making me feel a little ticklish. Just like that, the pain ebbs away. It's easy to forget about cramps when Dimitri is comforting me with his touch. My feelings, however, are growing stronger. I'm starting to feel slightly embarrassed, but Dimitri hasn't stopped touching me. His hand is so warm, his fingers so delicate. I don't even try to control my feelings, not when it's so much better than focusing on my cramps. Dimitri's thumb keeps circling across my cheek, and it's so very, very near my mouth, it's tempting me. I wonder, how would he react if I escalated? I want to see it, the kind of face he'll make. Unaware of my intentions, Dimitri simply holds my gaze as I lean into his hand. I tilt my face the slightest bit so that his thumb brushes over the corner of my mouth. For a split second, Dimitri's eyes widen in response. I want to see a bigger reaction. I turn my face even more, causing his thumb to slide across my bottom lip. Now his eyes widen completely, a flush spreading across his cheeks. I can feel his fingers starting to tremble. I like it though. I like it a lot. I want him to touch me more. I want to see more of these reactions from him. My inhibitions are lowered, so it doesn't strike me as something odd when I open up my mouth and flick my tongue against his thumb. Dimitri's expression is still one of shock. Maybe he's in disbelief. Maybe he needs more encouragement. My eyes lock onto his gaze, and slowly but confidently my tongue darts out again to lick his digit. He's completely red in the face, but his eyebrows are finally lowered. Dimitri's hand is shaking, but he doesn't pull back. No, he presses his thumb firmly against my bottom lip, his eyes focused on it. He pulls my lip down so that my mouth parts open. I can feel my blood pulsate through my lips, throbbing at the spot where he's touching me. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I know I'm crossing a line. One from where I won't be able to return. And I don't seem to care. I close my eyes and take the plunge, wrapping my lips around the tip of his thumb completely. My tongue flicks against his, the thumb on the inside of my mouth? Weird phrasing, I don't know. My tongue flicks against this thumb on the inside of my mouth. I guess it kind of makes sense. It tastes like chocolate. It's giving me the most electrifying feelings. I suck on it gently. It draws out a gasp from Dimitri. The next second, a pair of footsteps are approaching us, echoing in the hallways. Dimitri immediately pulls his thumb out of my mouth and backs away from me. People, he yelps. We're not supposed to be in here. Realizing that someone is just about to find out I was sucking off Dimitri's thumb in a room that's off limits to guests, I sit up straight, high on alert. Dimitri is the one who pulls me from the chaise with him, holding my hand and dragging me towards one of the large windows. He wraps the curtain around us, using it as a cloak to hide us. I'm squished up against his body, not making a sound. No sooner have we stopped moving, the doors of the room open up and a couple of people enter. My heart is pounding so fast for two different reasons. One, I don't want to be found out. Two, did I really just suck Dimitri's thumb? Oh, and am I really pressed up against him right now? Wait, I can hear it, his heartbeat. I press my ears against his chest. It's thumping wildly, going faster than mine is. I can't help but feel gleeful at this information. It bathes my body in a warm glow, temporarily forgetting the pains in my abdomen. Dimitri is nervous and excited as much as I am. He smells so nice too. A few seconds later, and the people in the room finally leave again. Dimitri breathes a sigh of relief, though his heart isn't calming back down. Neither is he letting go of me, his arm still wrapped around my back. That was close, he says. Oh, he suddenly lets go of me and jumps backwards. I look at him in surprise as the curtain moves around us. The sunlight of the sunset streams into my eyes now that Dimitri isn't blocking the sun from me anymore. Dimitri stuffs his hand into his pocket and pulls out a small wrapped piece of candy. He unwraps it, showing that it is in fact a piece of chocolate instead. I saved one, he says, then looks at me. For you. I can't control the blush on my face when I look at him. I did something rather daring only moments ago. How can he suddenly be so calm about it? He leans in closer, the fabric of the curtain enveloping us. The piece of chocolate is wedged between his fingers, and he raises it to my mouth. Feed it to me, I tell him. Dimitri's mouth drops open, but then he quickly closes it and shows me this determination in his eyes. After all, what we did before was way worse than simply feeding me chocolate. I close my eyes and open my mouth, though I'd rather be sucking on— oh my god. I'd rather be sucking onto something else instead of chocolate if I'm going to be brutally honest. My lips come into contact with the chocolate as Dimitri presses it inside of my mouth. I take it all the way inside, the chocolate melting fast onto my tongue. I can taste the strawberry filling leaking through. I crack open my eyes to tell him it tastes good. Then, the unexpected happens. Dimitri's face leans down and he captures my lips with his. My eyes widen for a second when I realize Dimitri's kissing me. I'm so caught off guard I don't know what to do. The chocolate is swirling around in my mouth, making my head spin. He pulls back, eyes uncertain and afraid, scanning mine for a reaction. Feels like the longest second in the world as I come to terms that Dimitri just kissed me. Discouraged by my non-reaction, Dimitri finally looks away, his face catching fire with a blush. I practically throw myself at him and silence him with my lips. I squeeze my eyes shut as I enjoy the feeling of Dimitri's lips on mine. I forget to swallow the chocolate. I forget everything around me. He's surprised for a small moment, his body tense and his lips not moving, but Dimitri finally presses back against my lips, lifting up my chin with his fingers and moving his lips at a gentle pace. My body turns into a puddle of goo. Dimitri doesn't take long to use his tongue, licking the rims of my lips, teasing them. I feel so fluttery and a little shy coming from him. He wants inside and I grant him permission, parting open my lips. His tongue slips inside, pushing past the chocolate and touching mine, all wet and warm. I sigh as I lean into him, I respond to his kiss to his tongue, eagerly accepting him. I've wanted this. Goosebumps appear all over my skin as I feel nothing but prickles and shocks coursing through my body. Dimitri is kissing me, and he's kissing me feverishly, our mouths moving together as our tongues wrap around each other. The chocolate is melting between the both of us. It's so hot and it tastes so good. His tongue swirls around mine, pushing against whatever is left of the chocolate. I can't believe Dimitri is kissing me and using his tongue like some kind of expert. I can hardly remember to breathe. This feels amazing, as if I've been waiting for this moment for ages and it's finally here. Sweet and hot, I can't get enough. When the chocolate has dissolved completely, Dimitri's tongue pulls out of my mouth and we both take a brief break to catch our breaths. He leans his forehead against mine, staring into my eyes. I don't even recognize him anymore. Who is this man capable of kissing me like this? I want to do it again. I want more. It's like all this dancing with Dimitri before was foreplay, and this is the real deal. The expression on my face says enough. Dimitri tilts his head to the side and plants his lips on me again. This time, I'm ready and waiting. I push back against him. He gently sucks on my lips, savoring the sweetness of it. It doesn't take long before his tongue is begging for permission to enter my mouth again. I gladly open up and we both collide, even fiercer than the first time. My knees are starting to lose their strength as I find my whole body trembling at the sensation. I never thought I wanted to kiss Dimitri, yet here I am, lusting for more. Dimitri's hand is on the side of my face, pulling me closer and preventing me from pulling away. Not that I'd want to. I want him to continue kissing me like it's the last night on Earth. His other hand travels down to the small of my back, pressing against it so our bodies meld together. The sweetness of the strawberry is still lingering around, making Dimitri lap up whatever is left of it. Each stroke and lick make my heart beat louder. Feelings I never quite knew were there are starting to emerge. Everything is bubbling up. All of these desires I've had for Dimitri, all this time they've been there, sleeping. But now I'm wide awake and I want all of it. Dancing with Dimitri was only the beginning. Kissing him is what I really wanted and I can't deny that anymore. We break apart to take a deep breath before smashing our faces together again. That's a nice image. The kiss is growing more and more desperate, like we know if we stop now, we might not have another chance. I feel like there's not enough oxygen in the air. I'm all lightheaded, like I'm floating. Well, you're a little bit tipsy as well. Our mouths move together irregularly, sometimes breaking apart so we can breathe for air. Kissing has never felt or tasted so good. Well, chocolate will definitely make that better. I honestly feel like I'm in a fairy tale. It feels surreal. Then Dimitri slows down his movements. He puckers his lips out and kisses me tenderly, despite his ragged breathing. I open my eyes to see Dimitri staring at me as he pulls away. His face is red, just like mine. I can finally catch my breath now that we're not lip-locked anymore. My body shudders with each breath I take. I rest my head against his chest, unable to continue looking him in the eye. I feel like my heart might burst. Dimitri rests his chin on top of my head and embraces me, gently rubbing my back. We don't say anything to each other for the longest time, simply staying in this embrace together. The sunlight is slowly disappearing from the horizon. "Are you feeling better now?" he asks me in this low whisper. Hearing his voice, despite being so soft, it rings through my ears, bringing me down from cloud 9 and back to reality. We kissed. Dimitri and I kissed and had a make-out session behind a curtain as if we were teenagers in high school. And I'm still here, in his arms, listening to his steady heartbeat. My brain can't find anything wrong with this picture. I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. Nothing else matters. Right now, I only have eyes for Dimitri. Much, I reply. I can't even remember I had any cramps when I can only feel this fluttery sensation that makes me glow. I'm hooked on the feeling. Neither of us say anything else. We simply stay there in front of the window, watching the sunset. It's like we're under an enchantment. There's this feeling that if I let go of Dimitri, the spell will be broken. We'll go back to being the normal Valkii and Dimitri again. We'll have to face the consequences of our actions. That's the furthest thing on my mind right now. Dimitri plants a quick kiss on my forehead before resting against it once more. His kisses feel nice. I want more. A sudden flash blinds me. I blink my eyes as my vision returns to me and I look down through the window. Sarah is standing in the garden, looking up with her camera pointed at us. She's giving me the weirdest look and waves her hand at us. Dimitri is the one that jumps away from me, suddenly letting go of my body and backing off. Dimitri struggles with the curtain as he tries to back away from the window. It takes me a moment to realize Sarah took a picture of us through the window. Wait, did everyone see what we were doing? Sarah is gesturing her hand at me, looking quite upset. If her body language is any indication, she definitely saw what Dimitri and I had been doing, and she wants an explanation for it. I finally push myself away from the window as well, feeling embarrassed as hell. The spell has been broken. I'm back to reality. I turn to Dimitri. He looks equally out of sorts and awkward. He rubs the back of his head, looking away from me. I bring my hand up to my mouth, touching my lips. The ramifications of what we did are finally getting through to me. We kissed. Dimitri and I crossed a line that's been there for years, a point we can't return from. I'm shocked at my own actions. What did I do? I got so swept up in these emotions that I went ahead and acted on them. So irresponsible of me. I'm ashamed at my own inhibitions, yet at the same time, I know I wanted this. My attraction and feelings for Dimitri have only grown. The way he kissed me just now, combined with the picture on his cell phone, there's no way Dimitri doesn't have feelings for me as well. It's all very conflicting. At the moment, though, I need to stop being alone with Dimitri. I can deal with my feelings later. I'm at a wedding after all. Besides, I need to find my purse, which has gone missing. I'm going to find my purse, I say, steadfast. Right. Dimitri timidly nods his head. I'll look too. I feel like I'm literally running away from my feelings as I exit the room. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.